Okay. Okay, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin with this camp session, I want to turn to the east and give all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, at Great Millstone, who do well and teach well, and are the true leaders of Israel today, man. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to your hopeful elect members and your brothers after teaching and preaching, this word throughout the four winds of the earth, making your calling and election sure, man. Shalom, shalom. Okay, and before I even get into this, let me get the book of Matthew, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. Actually, I can just read a couple verses down. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And when shall be thy sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? What shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Everybody wants to inquire on when Yahawashi is going to return, right? And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. You have a lot of these camps and people claiming they have the truth. You have all these different doctrines and different, theologies and ideologies that don't coexist with the scriptures, okay? And what they deceive many, which is why you have these mega churches, right? You have all these different, camps that try to, now you got, these two dudes that, bugged out in the GMS Chicago camp. And now they're teaching that, these heathens can make it. They're teaching that, we don't even got to, we don't got to keep the law at all. Okay? And they shall deceive many. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because the charagma has to be set up. But we are seeing the tensions of war brewing up exponentially, man, expediently, fast, right? You have North Korea and South Korea throwing shots at each other now. And we know who backs up South Korea, the U.S., and who backs up North Korea, Russia and China. And now you got the conflicts going out there in Iran, right? And Carmenians in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, which we're going to get. Because after Jacob's trouble, actually during the midst of Jacob's trouble, which this year is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, this place is going to get nuked. Yes, in the midst. This is the book of Job. Chapter 20 and verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. While he is eating. Why you got people lining up taking that charagma? Living a little bit with that charagma. Not too long after that, the Lord's gonna nuke this place. And I'm gonna get that in Joel. Verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bolt of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Because these elites are losing control. These elites are being pushed to fight against, Russia and China. And terrors are upon them. Because these prophecies are coming to pass, man. His rulership is getting ready to end. And that's how it's going to end, through nuclear war. Just as, and that's, let me get this. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. So we better believe that war is coming. We better believe that war is coming, because his New World Order is getting ready to be set up in place. Klaus Schwab already warned that a cyber attack is inevitable. And what does this cyber attack entail? It entails the start of a new world, this New World Order, which is going to be ran by an RFID chip. And if you don't take that RFID chip, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. Okay? That's that mark in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter. When you go into that word mark, it goes into the word charagma. And when you go into that word charagma and you go into the root, it goes into a pale or a stake. Okay, and that's that device that's going to be used to be pushed into your skin. That little chip. Okay, so when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So we very well could be, getting out here in 2024. Because what? Esau Edom is getting ready to implement his New World Order. And in the midst of him implementing his New World Order, what are we seeing? High tensions of war. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, they have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, but they shall not escape. Because they're going to be able to live a little bit with that charagma, man. That New World Order is going to be set up for a little bit. But not too long after that, the Lord's going to nuke it in the mist. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Right? You have these people in the world still focusing on things of the world. On, building, a life here in America, Babylon the Great. They think, like, you have people here in Babylon the Great that think that their houses shall continue forever and ever. Thus saith the scriptures. They think that they're just gonna get old and pass away and come back again and just keep repeating the cycle. Right? So what do? They put themselves in different things that they're into, man. They put that first, not realizing that this is getting ready to crumble. This is getting ready to go out. But you got Jake out here that's just living day to day, thinking that what they believe in and what they got going on is just gonna keep on continuing, bro. But us, brother, man, we're not in darkness. We're paying attention. We're looking at what's happening. We know that this can crack at any moment now. Okay, which is why what brothers are so are on fire. Brothers are growing in the spirit, trying to be on on par with what is needed for us to make it into one of them chariots. Right? We're not trying to go into Jacob's trouble with a condemned conscience, man. Because the power can go out right now, and you don't know if you're gonna make it or not. Okay, but what you are gonna know is if you did what you needed to do. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Let me get 1 Peter chapter 3. Or 2 Peter, Salakia. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, Salakia. Chapter 3 and verse 1. The second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. Right? When you read the book of Corinthians, it says that the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. So the Lord has what? Stirred up our pure minds by way of remembrance. Because when you go into Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, when you pass away, there is no remembrance of former things. Verse 2, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandments of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. You're going to have a lot of scoffers walking after their own lusts. They're going to look at you brothers out there teaching. They're going to look at you, brothers studying, making your lessons. And what are they going to do? They're going to hear what you're saying, and they're going to scoff and mock at it, man. They're going to think that this is just a joke. Oh my gosh, look at these dudes. Thinking that the world's going to end tomorrow. Thinking that they know what they're talking about. Thinking like they know the Bible. All right, you're going to see, man. You're going to see. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. It says, and saying, these are you scoffers and you mockers, man. Where is the promise of his coming? When is he going to come back? When is your sky daddy going to come back? When is your God going to come back? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. Hey, my parents have been talking about that forever. You know, I've been hearing about, the Lord coming back for 10 years, 30 years, 40 years. And still ain't nothing happened. Verse 5, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that was then being overflowed with water perished, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. The Lord is building up a case on you Jakes, right? The Lord is, let me read up verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness. You think that the Lord is taking forever because people have been talking about it for a while, not realizing that the Lord had it set up this way. But is long suffering to us with patience, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. This is why you would consider the Lord slacking, tarrying, right? It's so you Jakes could repent. He has had his hand out day in, he has had his hand out day after day, calling you Jakes to repent, but you Jakes just don't want to listen, man. Verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? How should you be walking? How should you be conducting yourself? By the washing and the renewing of the word, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. We look for a new earth and new heavens wherein dwelleth righteousness. And we know that it's going to be here on this planet, on this earth, because the scriptures say that the earth abideth forever. Like you see the memes of the earth exploding and shit. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. These nukes are just going to clean shit up here in America, Babylon the Great. The earth is still going to be intact because the kingdom of heaven is going to be played out here on earth. Okay, when you read the book of Revelations, and it goes into Yahawashi receiving them crowns, it's him taking over all these different powers on the earth. Okay, but looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. This is why the Lord has created them ICBM nuclear missiles. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. It's locking, man. My hands are cold. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. You see, the Lord has created the waster to destroy. That's talking about a nuclear missile. I have created the smith that bloweth the coals, talking about the production of these nuclear missiles. Albert Einstein, that was the Lord dealing with him to get that understanding and knowledge of how to make a nuclear missile. Because if I'm not mistaken, when you go into that word knowledge and you go into the etymology of it, you can bring it back into demon. And we know that Esau, Edom, is what? Ran by the left-hand side of the Most High. You can read that in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, whose workings are the coming of Satan. Right? Let me get the book of Jeremiah 51 to further expound on that point, because when you get Jeremiah 51, let me get it real quick. I'm also going to get Jeremiah 50. But this is the book of Jeremiah 51 and verse. I can start up at the top, but I'm going to jump down to this point that I want to make. This is the book of Jeremiah 51 and verse 9. I'm going to start at verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her and take balm for her. Pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. When you read the book of Psalms, it says that Esau, Edom, is that daughter of Babylon, man. He is in the control of this new, the virgin daughter of Babylon. And the reason it's a virgin is because it has never been touched in war. None of these other nations have ever, attacked it. But nonetheless, it says we would have healed Babylon, right? Because Esau, Edom has the means to make things better. Esau, Edom has all the power in the world to make things better, to make change, to stop world hunger, to stop war, to, stop poverty, GMO food, sicknesses, right? He has the means and all the, right? Hey, the scriptures talk about how he was blessed with the fatness of the earth. He has everything in his hands to cure Babylon the Great, but it's not going to be, because just as it says in the scriptures, all these things must come to pass. Okay, because 2nd Ezra 6 and 7, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow with this world. This, rulership has to be, cut down in order for, a new one to be set up, right? As it says in the book of, if I'm not mistaken, of Sirach. Okay. But let me go back up to Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And where can you read that destroying wind? Revelation 7 and 3. But let me get this before I go into that. I do want to get this. I want to expound on this point. If I'm not mistaken, it's Psalms. Let me see. Yep. This is the book of Psalms 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And when you go into that, it actually goes into erase it. That's how you would say it. So erase it, even to the foundation thereof. Right? Esau, Edom, trying to erase us Israelites, right? By the means of, destroying, our family structure, destroying our women, polluting their minds with, Esau's blessing and feminism and so on and so forth. The foods we consume, our own water, our air, so on and so forth, right? Putting, pork in things that don't even need to have pork in it, knowing that sin is, sin is death, right? The scriptures talk about in the book of Psalms, also in the book of Psalms 64, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Because it's really all you nations, man. All you nations want. So like in Psalms 83. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden one. Who are the hidden ones? Us Israelites. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And of course, you have those scattered all throughout because the curses, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, we have been scattered into all these different nations. So you may look like an Indian. You may look like a so-called white Edomite, white dude. Right? You may look like an Ishmaelite, okay? Elamite, right? The Indians, so on and so forth. But your lineage can definitely go back to, Yasharallah, Israel, the princess of the power, okay? And the way you can tell you're an Israelite is if your spirit, if your spirit, is able to receive this word, If you're a so-called Elamite, or Edomite, so-called, right? If you look like these other nations, Ishmaelite, so on and so forth, but you believe on the names of Yahawashi, Yahawashi, you believe on this doctrine, you're pushed to teach, to make lessons, to go out to the highways and the byways, to make your calling and election sure. Hey, no one can tell you anything, because we have been scattered out the four corners of the earth, and our seed has been spread out the four corners of the earth. Okay, it's like it for that ramble, but we are the hidden ones as Israelites. For the majority is these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. In its how would you say it, condensed form, because that's where you can have most of the majority of the Israelites. Verse 4, they have said, right? These are the nations. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites, Moab, the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Assur, Salakia also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. And you can read on down, hey, all you other nations are against us. Okay, you lower ones, for the elites of your nation, you guys are against us, man. You don't want to see Israel rise up again. Okay, but this just proving that point that really all you other nations, but this is going to be the focal point to show you how Babylon is under the rule of Esau, Edom, this new mystery Babylon the Great. Psalms 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, erase it, even to the foundation thereof. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. This is also a cut to vocab alone, because he claims that the Edomites are extinct, when the scriptures tell you that there is no end of all people. The only time there's going to be an end of a nation is in the kingdom of heaven. When you read the book of Obadiah, Esau, Edom is going to go extinct after 1,000 years of harsh slavery. If you can put the scriptures together, because that's how long it's going to take you other nations to build up our kingdom. Okay? So, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. How you have treated the children of Israel. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. The Most High is not playing. The Most High is not playing with the other nations, and mainly Esau, Edom, right? You elites, nation. So, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And this is how we know it's not talking about ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon got taken over by the Persians and the Medes. But this Babylon is going to be taken over by this destroying wind that you can read in Revelations, the 7th chapter, which is how you know this is a prophecy. You will have someone read this and think that's talking about ancient Babylon. You err not knowing the scriptures, man. How did ancient Babylon go out? It got taken over. But the prophecy states that it's going to be, let me get that destroying wind. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 3. I'm starting at verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Okay, that Ezekiel, that mark of exemption from judgment. Okay. But the Lord is holding back those seals, right? It says, after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on any earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree, right? The Lord is not gonna send out these nuclear missiles until the elect has been sealed, which is why we come out to the highways and the byways and we make these lessons. So the elect could receive it, repent, turn back, and get ready for Jacob's trouble. Get ready for the Lord's return. Okay. Verse 2, and I will send unto Babylon fanners. When you go into fanners, it goes into troops, if I'm not mistaken. That shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. And against them that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Everybody. If you're here in America, Babylon the Great, with that charagma walking around, that mark of the beast, that RFID C-hip walking around, just know that one of those nuclear missiles are destined to cook you. You're cooked. As Jake likes to say, you're cooked. You're going to be literally cooked. Verse 4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. And when you go into that, all right, the Chaldeans have what? Let me get this. 1 Samuel 15:23. Yup. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 23. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. When you go into the Chaldeans, they were masters of witchcraft. And stubbornness, and what's pushed heavily here in Babylon the Great? Witchcraft. You go into Hollywood, right? What do they make you do? They make you join the cult, right? They make you join the, people like to call it the cabal, right? The Illuminati, whatever. All they are Satanists, right? Witches and warlocks, casting spells in their music, putting spells in the movies, in the shows, to brainwash Jake, turn Jake out, right? A reason a lot of you fucking Jakes are moes and shit is because you're fucking polluted with all this damn music, right? And subliminal messaging that Esau Edom has used to blind you, right? But nonetheless, the Lord has said that He has given you over to those perverse ways. Okay. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord. He hath also rejected thee from being king. But nonetheless, though, that was going into Saul. That was going into Saul. Not really the Chaldeans, but the Chaldeans were rebellious, and rebellion in itself is as a sin of witchcraft. And most of you Jakes are what? Rebellious. So and what was the judgment of a witch? When you read the book of Deuteronomy, the witch had to be burnt up. She had to be cooked, thrown in the fire pit. And how's this world gonna end this time? Through fire. Okay. Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, and the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity. And that's what that means by come out of her, my people. Flee from Babylon. You gotta flee from Babylon repenting. You're not gonna be able to move to fucking Puerto Rico and try to fucking, deliver yourself from judgment. Move into the fucking middle of the Amazon to try to deliver yourself from judgment. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. This is why all this war and tension that's happening right now in the Middle East and with North and South Korea is happening, because the Lord is getting ready to nuke this motherfucker. This is why you have the New World Order getting ready to be, laid out. Okay. Donald J. Trump, he was talking about how he's getting ready to implement these 15-minute cities. And we understand that this is what they want. They want to set up these 15-minute cities so that they could what? Put a chip in you. Put an RFID micro C-hip in you. And you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you take that micro C hit, which is why what the dollar is losing. You go into the BRICS, right? These BRIC nations, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Sudan. When you go into those BRICS nations, what are they doing? They're making their own currency, right? Their own, and it's a digital currency, if I'm not mistaken. And what's going to happen? America's not going to be able to put sanctions on these nations. What happened when Saddam Hussein wanted to not trade using the American dollar? Hey, they set up the 9/11, and they set up the 9/11, painted them as terrorists, and what did we do? We went and go killed them, so that our dollar could stay in power. But they're not going to be able to do that with Russia and China, which is why Esau Edom is put into a corner. Babylon has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. How did he make the earth drunken? Pushing his philosophies on these other nations. Pushing the ways of America onto these other nations. Which is why you have what these Chinese they wear tuxedos and shit now. Why do they do that? Because they're learning after the ways of America. The women, right? The women of these other nations want to come visit America so they can live more liberally. Living feminism, not realizing that that's a way that destroys families and households. And these other nations are now realizing this. They realize that they have been duped in the ways of Esau Edom, and they're like, man, fuck that, right? You see, people made that that at that press conference. He said the West is poisoning their own population. Is pushing Satanism. He dead ass said that. The Lord is putting that. The Lord is ready to put that evil thought inside of Putin's head to fucking nuke this motherfucker, bro. Because what? Esau Edom has to move quick. Because these other nations, they're not messing. They're getting ready to set up their own currency. The dollar's getting ready to collapse. And when this shit collapses, bro, only the elect men are gonna be able to walk in that time with their heads up. Only the elect men is going to be able to eat and drink and sleep comfortably in that time. The scriptures say that I will make a man more precious than the fine gold of Ophir. Why? Because a man, and not just any man, the Israelite man, an elect man, is going to be precious in that day because you're going to have a hedge of protection over you when society collapses. And society is getting ready to collapse. Civil war, cyber attacks, war, famine, right? They said that there's been a talking about shipping containers and how it's going to affect our storehouses, right? Suddenly shall the storehouses be found empty. Hey, pestilences, all these different diseases are being released out here, man. But only the elect man is going to be able to make it through this shit, bro. We don't know how, but we're going to put our trust with Yahawashi, as we're doing now. Like coming out to the highways and the byways, families just walking past, dudes just running, ignoring the camp spot. It's all good. Because at the end of the day, man, this is all that matters. And that's that wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, man. They erred in a way that led to deserts. Meaning there was nothing there. And of the way of the Lord, they have not known it. You didn't know how to walk in the Spirit. But nonetheless, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. We're going to be telling y'all, you see, this is the work of Yahawashi. When a famine hits, when the power goes out, when society collapses, when there's uproars of the people, when there's sedition among men out here, we're going to tell y'all this is the work of the Most High. We're telling you right now. That's when that Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter and the 33rd verse is going to come to pass. Then shall they know that a prophet has been among you. Then you're going to know what the fuck we've been telling you is true. And you're going to know who did it. And this is why we don't play with this ministry, man. You can't be out here just thinking shit sweet. You can't. Because it's not. We're not guaranteed a spot on the chariot, man. We're not guaranteed to make it out of here. The scriptures tell you, let every man prove his own work. It also tells you to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. We fear Yahawashi and Yahawashi, man. We're not trying to get caught up in that judgment. We're not trying to be out there all through and shit. But Jake out here don't fear, man. This is why they're going, hey, 2nd Ezra 9th chapter, man. The same must know it after death by pain. That's the only way you're going to have the true fear of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. And you're going to have that fear before even the death hits. Because you're going to have to see the nuclear missiles fly up. And you're going to be walking around with the charagma. And your pride is going to be shot all the way down. Your pride is going to be shot all the way down. And us brothers, man, that are going through it now, right? Going through trials and tribulations now, you know, put into that lowly estate now, that's when our rest is going to come, man. That's when our head's going to, that's when the pressure of the world is going to be taken off our shoulders. You know, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing, right? Having faith and trust and believing and works in Yahawashi and Yahawashi. Right? Verse 11, make bright the arrows, and gather the shields, and the Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. And how is these arrows? Because it said what? A destroying wind, right? And it says what? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, and so she may be healed. And what? Make bright the arrows? What is this talking about? What do you mean make bright the arrows? Did the Medes shoot, shiny arrows to Babylon? let's get the understanding on this. We get the understanding on this. Yep. Huh. It's like it. Which is nasty, but had to spit. So let's get an understanding on these arrows. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Because all you nations are going to get cleansed out by the nuclear missiles. Dissolved, just how it says in the book of 2 Peter's. And your eyes are going to melt. Your eyes are going to melt inside your skull. Your tongue is going to melt inside your skull. Because what? As you can read on the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter. This is the plague. These nuclear missiles are going to melt you. Oh, also Ezekiel, the 22nd chapter. Because, you have become all dross. I will leave you there and melt you. How is the Lord going to melt you? Let's read it. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot from a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So what is this archer going to do? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence, right? The scriptures tell you that I am not come to send peace on earth, but a sword. Because a lot of people think that so-called Jesus is going to come back to give hugs and handshakes. Verse 12, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. Because these nukes, they're not just going to harm the land, they're going to touch the ocean. Verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. How can you shoot an arrow unto the other side of the world? And how can you even shoot an arrow that's gonna, spread fire to the other side of the world? This is talking about nuclear missiles. The scriptures talk about how he has laid out parables, dark sayings that only the prophets are gonna be able to break down. And these people don't understand that World War III is in the scriptures, man. This place is gonna get finished by nuclear missiles. This is why North Korea and South Korea are sending shots right now. This is why the BRICS nations are lining up and teaming up and getting ready to go against Babylon the Great. This is why they said that America wants to get kicked out of NATO, or America wants to leave NATO. And where can you read that? The beast shall hate the whore. The beast shall hate the whore. Who is that whore? America, Babylon the Great, and the beast is NATO and the EU. They're the ones that's gonna cook America, Babylon the Great. So the prophecies are winning, bro. The Bible is winning. You people out here that are, just living in La La Land, you are losing day after day. The closer we get to this shit, man, you're losing worse and worse. You're losing worse and worse. People don't understand what's getting ready to happen here in Babylon the Great, because before World War III happens, which was what we're seeing, all these damn tensions and shit. Before all this shit happens, what are we gonna get ready to go into? Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. And you can read 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, on certain things that are going to be happening out here, and even in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, on shit that's going to get ready to be happening here in Babylon the Great, man. It's not pretty. You women, they're going to be ravished up. She shall be trodden like the mire of the streets. Most of you women are going to get cooked out here, bro. If you don't got a man of Yahawashi, Yahawashi, you're done for. You're going to get picked up by either a cannibal gang. You're going to get fucking, GRAPED. Take off the G. You're gonna be weak in that time, man. You women that have all this damn feminism and strength, and I'm a strong, self-independent woman. You're gonna see in that day how strong and independent you are. You're gonna see that day. Hey, she that is my enemy. She that is my enemy. Damn, I forgot what it says after that, but hey, technically be destroyed. But yeah, man, this is the time, man. This is the time to repent. This is the time of repentance, bro. If you're not right with your Yahawashi, Yahawashi, known as men, you need to do some, soul searching before this shit cracks. Right? For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. So once these arrows are shot to the ends of the world, they're gonna do something. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundations of the earth. These arrows that are going to be shot unto the ends of the world by America and Russia and China and these other nations, back to forth, they're going to consume the foundations of the earth. Verse 18. This is the time where we're at. And I'm probably going to close out with this precept. This is the time that we're at. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? Behold, famine, plagues, and tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. This is for the 2/3 I can. Cast not away your confidence, but have enough fear and humility to know that we're not guaranteed a spot on a chariot, man, and we gotta work. And, we gotta keep doing this until this shit, till we can't, till we just can't no more. And we gotta keep coming out to the highways and the byways, pushing these shows and these lessons until we're literally able to not be able to, so that we may be found at peace with Yahawashi Yahawashi when he returns. When these plagues for amendment are, put forth, right? A lot of brothers are going through it right now to pay for them sins that they had. But you still got to push forth in this ministry so that you're not like these people out here just walking in la la land. Okay. Behold, famine, plagues, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendments. But for all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. You see, you're not going to be mindful. You're not going to understand that Yahawashi is judging you for a lot of you, man. You know, and you're not mindful of that shit. You're not mindful that the Lord can do it to you. You're not mindful that the Lord can have it to where he gets rid of your whole family and let you just live. And you just have to bear with it. You're not aware that the Lord can break damn near all your fucking bones and just leave you there, to fucking die. Hey, through the terror of the Lord, we shall persuade men. But hey, man, with that, man, I'm gonna close out. I don't want this out. It was edifying. I just wanted to touch up a little bit on World War III, and how how that's gonna be the end game. So, with that, I want to close out by turning to the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power. Yahweh, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham kakudash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well, and are the true leaders of Israel today. Shalom to the hopeful elect and your icon pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth with all truth and sincerity, making your calling and election sure, man, more so than ever in these days, bro. Risking your lives and freedoms, to do this shit. Just as the Elder Malcolm always says, because, man, it's gonna be well worth it. Risk your life for this shit, man. With no risk comes no reward. So, with that, man, shalom. Y'all, Bashim, Shabbat.